Okay, so this is day 2 of our My Name assignment. Today we are going to talk about the text tool. You can find the text tool over here on the left that says T. All you have to do is click it, and when you click it, you can press the screen, and you can see to the right a text layer was just added, and then you can begin typing. You can change that text by very similar things to Word document, just highlight it. Top left, you can change the font of it. I would ask you guys to begin thinking about font as a way to add design elements to your project. What kind of style of font you use is really important and will aid your design aspect. For example, I've got something really bright and bubbly, but I wouldn't use this creepy text. I would use something that is equally as tropical or fun, or maybe feminine, like a script. All right, so when you have chosen, you can now move that text around. You can even change the size of it as long as your text layer is highlighted and the text tool is also highlighted. You can go back and click it anytime and highlight it and change the size like such. You may also press Control T and tilt it. You can even hold Shift and make it larger that way. So you have many options. To change the color, again, you want to make sure your text layer is highlighted, your text tool is also selected, and then you're going to highlight them. And then over here where it says black, you're going to click that, and then you can choose any color that you want. Press OK. The cool thing about text layers is that you can apply additional edits to your text layer. For example, if I go over here to my text layer, double click it, actually not double click it, my bad, that's Photoshop. Okay, so if you make sure your text layer is selected and go to EFF, you can go ahead and add things that we've done in the past, like drop shadows, and then change the intensity or the opacity of it. You can do any number of things. You can add a glow, so on and so forth. Okay, another thing you can do with text layers that can be fun is clip them to shapes or clip them to images. So by making sure your text layer is selected, press Control, 2-finger click and press clipping mask. And then you can see over here that my text is only being shown in my pink area, like such. Again, with text layers, you can still add blend modes. You can still change opacity. So a text layer acts as similar to any type of layer or image. Okay, so the goal with the text layer is that I would like for you all to find a quote, a lyric, a slogan that is meaningful to you, and I want you to type that. And then I want you to somehow repeat it in your middle ground. So we've worked on our background, and now I want to do something in my middle ground. Okay, so when you've got your quote and you've got the style that you want, you're going to, if you'd like to, just turn off your background for the time being so that we can get that organized. I'm going to organize it how I want it laid out. So I want it to be catty-cornered like such. Enter. And then I just want to repeat that. So Control J and then bringing it down. And then so that I don't have to press Control J again, I can click the top one, hold Shift, click the second one, and two-finger click, merge those layers, and then I can Command J that. And now I have two. And then I want to continue that rhythm, so click the first one, hold Shift, click the second one, two-finger click, merge layers, and then Control J. Now I have four. And now I have the option to, again, merge them by clicking the first layer, holding Shift, clicking the second layer, two-finger, merge layers. And then I want to put, I can put them right here, Control J, then I can put them side by side like such. Again, I'm going to merge them. And then you basically want to do that however many times it takes for you to fill your screen or create your pattern. You can make stripes with this. You can make just lines if you want to. You can do a zigzag if you want to. Regardless, the goal here is to take your quote and multiply it so that you're creating your own pattern. Command J. I'm going to go over here. And I'm being pretty particular how I'm lining everything up so it looks really consistent. I'm going to merge all my layers by clicking the first one, holding Shift, clicking the last one, merging my layers, and there we go. So I'm going to turn on everything else to see how that looks. All right, so for my specific background, I think it looks a little bit busy, but for maybe some of you, it looks really cool and interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my text layer above my pink, and then I'm going to two-finger click and create a clipping mask. So now my text is only being seen in the pink. Now that I see that, I think my text is a little bit big, so I'm going to Control T. Holding Shift. I'm just going to make it a smidge smaller so we can see the words and the text a little bit more. So enter. Perfect. Okay, so the last step is to add your name for your foreground. There are a few ways you can do that. You can either just add your name as is in one line, or what a lot of students like to do is do a line per letter. That way they can arrange each letter to fit the composition of their background. For example, right here I have leaves, so I wanted to use the negative space in between the leaves. However, there's less negative space here, there's more negative space here. So I mean the D a lot bigger than the A, so on and so forth. I would also suggest using a second font, that way that it really pops out from the font that you used in your middle ground. The one thing is, if you want to do letter by letter, you have to make sure you click the text tool, click your canvas, write your letter, then click your layer panel, and then come back, drop another layer. Otherwise, if you press, for example, if you write a letter and press enter, it's going to just move your letter down as like a paragraph. All right. Okay, so let's go back to here. So now that I've gotten my layout how I want it, I am going to hold Shift and merge these layers so that I can edit them all together at once. This is really important. You want to add additional edits to your name because you want it to stand out in front of everything else. If we're talking about background, middle ground, and foreground, then the thing in the foreground must be the closest to us. Right now, just my name looks very flat, so I can add some edits. So going to EFF, I can add a drop shadow so that it looks really forward. I would really pay attention to what you're using because you want to make sure that you're using something that works the best. Of course, your drop shadow doesn't always have to be black. You could change it if you'd like. Okay, your drop shadow doesn't always have to be multiply. You can also change it, the blend mode of your drop shadow as well. But one thing that I wanted to show you guys that I think is really cool is that you are able to add a picture to your text. So if I wanted to, instead of just do a color, but I wanted some sort of photograph or a texture in my text, all you have to do is File, Open. You're going to pick that picture. You're going to drag it over, bring it here. It's quite large. Control T, make it a smidge smaller. Press Enter, and then this background, double finger click, clipping mask, and now it's applied to my name. So you can get that picture inside your letters. Control T, and again, you can always change how it looks and how it's seen inside your name. You can also add some filters to it if you want to make it more dramatic in that sense. But the goal here is to have a background, a middle ground of quotes, and a foreground of your name. Your name should definitely have some sort of effect to it so that it stands out in front of everybody else. Even bevel or emboss really makes things look really three-dimensional and is a cool one to do. All right, so have fun, experiment, and when you're finished, you're going to press File, Save as either a JPEG or a PNG. I've heard some of you have been having trouble with JPEG, so go ahead and save it as a PNG, and then submit it.